I'm back, and I remembered my paper. So I'm actually opening the envelope that I used to mail it to myself many years ago. Let's see. So this paper was written December 15th, 2012. My name was Sandra Perez at the time, and the paper is entitled The Trickle-Down Theory of Crime. It was written for Criminology 308 with Christopher Menton at Roger Williams University. I had a lot of fun writing this paper. I'm not going to get into how much fun and why, but I did. I was very enthusiastic about writing this paper. Did I mention that it is entitled The Trickle-Down Theory of Crime? I think I said that. I might need my reading glasses to read it. I think I do. Okay. In this paper, I will attempt to assert my own theory of crime, which I call the trickle-down theory of crime, or the trickle-down crime theory. From research I've done, I've extrapolated that the world is essentially ruled by what many individuals in the field of psychiatry and sociology would refer to as sociopaths or psychopaths. Our top leaders consist of politicians, corporate CEOs, military officials, religious figures, and the heads of organizations such as the CIA, FBI, NSA, Homeland Security, etc. These are the folks to whom we've entrusted the planet, ourselves, our children, and our future. One may ask where my proof is that these individuals are mentally ill criminals, and how exactly it is that their behavior trickles down to the rest of us. In his book, Driven to Lead, Paul R. Lawrence makes the point that leaders in banking have swindled the world by buying politicians, both Republican and Democrat, and using them to make legal their misappropriation of the world's wealth into their own pockets. One might also ask why the rich would rob from the poor. In Pigs at the Trough, Arianna Huffington speculates that these individuals grew up with no love and filled the void with material things. Personally, having spent time in higher socioeconomic circles as a teen when briefly attending private school, I can attest to this. I witnessed many a rich young bad boy exhibiting violent, deviant, thrill-seeking behaviors, including stealing and having no remorse about it. Most of these youngsters never had to pay for their behavior and ended up with cushy jobs in daddy's company. In Snakes in Suits, Paul Babiak, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right, sorry Paul, and Robert Hare speak of psychopathic behavior being applied in the corporate arena. They assert that many high-functioning psychopaths, possibly the well-educated but devoid of compassion children of the elite, obtain high-powered careers in corporations or on Wall Street. This is where they gain much more money, power, prestige, and notoriety than your average petty criminal psychopath on the street. One may beg the question why these individuals are allowed to operate with impunity, and also why many folks tend to look up to them as something to be emulated. I would assert that collectively as a society, we have a general sense of learned helplessness with a side of Stockholm Syndrome. And that is because of the propaganda we take in through corporate-owned mainstream media. In his book, Propaganda, The Formation of Men's Attitudes, Jacques Ellis posits that the ideas held by a society are deliberately shaped by individuals having a vested interest in controlling that society. Propagandists know that most people hold certain core beliefs about life, the world, and other people. These beliefs are essentially that an individual's aim in life is happiness, that man is naturally good, and that history develops in endless progress. They use this belief system to their advantage by asserting that their ideas will bring about these truths. Did you hear the duck? Anyway, learned helplessness is cultivated by the media in that we are not shown images of people rising up against corrupt bankers and jailing them successfully, as was done in Iceland recently. Go Iceland. But we are shown scary images of rioting in the streets of Greece after their greedy financial and political leaders tanked their economy. Hopefully they've recovered since. I don't know. Haven't been there. Maybe I'll go. Clearly, many of us here in the U.S. have a bad case of Stockholm Syndrome, in that we are essentially enslaved by the tax and spend economy, which taxes us almost to the breaking point, and we just look up to the greedy corporate whores that are doing this to us and buying their line of bull, that if we do the right thing and follow the American dream, their wealth will trickle down to us. Okay. That's not what trickles down. That's what the paper's about. We call a lady with 30 felines a crazy cat lady, and a man with thousands of newspapers piled up a hoarder, while those who greedily stockpile the world's wealth and resources and lock it away are held up as role models. Now, I've got nothing against capitalism. I'm no communist, so this is not against capitalism. I love capitalism. It's great. It's the natural order of things. It's commerce. I mean, like, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, parens patriae is a term that denotes the fact that during the 1800s, the child-saving movement came about in response to children at that time who were becoming delinquent in response to urbanization and industrialization. Some caring folks from the government decided to step in and reform these kids instead of punishing them. They were there to help kids who lacked adequate parents, and in a sense, the state became surrogate parents for those children. We've all pretty much accepted that this is or was what needed to be done and continues to be. But the consequences is that because of the breakdown of society in general, we tend to see the government as a parental figure. Americans do anyway. I don't think that it's that way elsewhere. I've yet to live outside the US, but am considering it. Anywho, back to the paper. Our government, however, having been essentially hijacked by individuals of questionable character, does not make for a suitable source of moral nurturing. Nonetheless, many look to the government for material goods, safety, and information as though there were no other source of these things, much as a small child looks to its parents. Bad government, however, like bad parents, cannot produce good children, even if they do pass laws that say, do as I say, not as I do. Well, it was a short paper. At any rate, the bibliography is Paul R. Lawrence, Driven to Lead, Good, Bad, and Misguided Leadership. Okay, and Ariana Huffington, Pigs at the Trough, How Corporate Greed and Political Corruption Are Undermining America. All right, so the first one, the Paul R. Lawrence book, was published in 2010. The Huffington book, 2003. Also, I've got Paul Babiak and Robert Hare, Snakes in Suits, When Psychopaths Go to Work. And that was written in 2006. I reference Learned Helplessness. You can look that up in WikiLeaks, March 2010. Also, Stockholm Syndrome. You can look that up on WikiLeaks. And Jacques Ellis, the book Propaganda, The Formation of Men's Attitudes, 1968. And that's it. So I just wanted to bring that to you. Still not sure what I'm doing with this channel, but I am gonna read some of my favorite school papers for you guys. I miss being in school. I was in 3 different universities, the first of which was Providence College. I did 2 years there as a business management major. Took a year off, decided I wanted to help people, and I wanted to become a substance abuse counselor. So they didn't offer anything that would help me with that at Providence College, so I went to University of Rhode Island, took all the classes that I needed for a substance abuse counseling certificate. It was all psychology, so I switched to psychology as a major with human development and family studies as a minor, and eventually changed my mind, decided I wanted to be a cop or parole officer. And so I had to switch to Roger Williams University, studied there for several years as a double major, psychology and criminal justice. And with each successive university that I went to, they wouldn't take all the credits from the previous university. So I've actually taken more classes toward a bachelor's than most people take, and they actually receive a bachelor's, but I hadn't actually received the bachelor's, even though I've got more classes under my belt, for what it's worth. At any rate, this video is long enough. Oh yeah, I did want to shout out to a YouTuber. I can't remember her YouTube channel. True Alchemy with Danielle Lynn. Love your channel. I was inspired by the fact that you seem to film in nature most of the time, so I figured I'd try it. All right, thanks everyone. Give me a like and subscribe. Give me the thumbs up. Chat later.